Hello, everyone. Welcome to the post-tournament community chat. Right now, it's just Imagine and I.
Yep.
We could get. I'd love to get one of the writers in here, though. This is kind of like off the cuff, but I'd love to chat about what we saw today because what a set of matches! I think that this is probably the best Guns of Icarus play I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, no, we can always almost say that for the entire season. It was an absolutely fantastic set of weeks of matches. So great to see all these teams.
Oh, we just got word. Dan is alive.
Dan is alive. Okay, cool. So hopefully we can bring him back here. And I mean, what a great way to finish off. I mean, the culmination of a great season, getting finished off in a great playoffs. Both silver and gold were absolutely fantastic.
Mm-hmm. So I actually didn't get to see your games on the side. So you're saying that Hades, you saw a lot of Hades, but it wasn't really landing that well, huh?
We had so many. So the Sky Invading Rhinos brought a lot of Hades today and failed to hit with it quite a lot.
Dan!
Is he back?
Yes.
Hey, hello. And he is not.
We can't hear him. Go on.
Yeah. And I need to refresh the windows here.
Yep, we cannot hear Dan.
Like that.
Oh, there we go. Excellent.
I hate my existence. That was well timed by the internet to go.
So did you manage to catch into the finals there?
No, nothing.
Oh my God!
Riders picked up the victory. You missed some amazing matches. Holy Roman Army picked it up 2-0. You really have got to watch the recording of the first match.
The ending of that was for the ages. Really, like that is a match that is going to be talked about in the competitive scene pretty much until forever. Like that's gonna. And the thing is, it's going to be both negative and positive, right? Like people are going to complain that the Holy Roman Army hid there. People are going to put out conspiracy theories about how the writers got alerted.
Yeah, I was going to say half the talk of it is going to be people saying, "Hey, someone told them."
Yeah, someone told them, or they're stream cheating or whatever. Guys, here's my thing about when people are like, "Oh, they're stream cheating." There's all you've got writing on this is pride, and both Holy Roman Army and the writers are, some of the old, even some of the most respected players in the game. They're not going to be cheating. Stop it. That's no reason for you to think that. So to just put that out of your mind. It had to be. I wish we could pull one of the writers in here because it would be great to hear how exactly they found them. Dan, in Canyon Ambush on Red Spawn, how like kind of off the way in the right hand side of the map, there's like that
there's a cubby hole.
Yeah. So Holy Roman Army went up 3-2. There was about 10 minutes left, and they went and hid in that cubby hole. And they hid there for about 7 minutes.
8 minutes.
7 or 8 minutes.
2 minutes left before the match ended.
Yeah, and then finally the riders were coming up around the side, and they started throwing flares in there, and eventually went in, got both the ships killed in there, went up 4-3. And now one of them was a Mobula, so you had the first ship that died, that was a Gatling Carronade Pyro, run back in, killed the Mobula with 10 seconds left to send it to a sudden death with a 4-4 tie, but got killed because the opposing Pyro was right on his tail. But still, like a crazy finish there.
Yeah, though. And then the second match was just the riders abusing the fact that the Holy Roman Army decided to take 2 Hades, and they were just like, hey, they have Hades, we don't. Let's just close distance.
Yeah, I've seen a couple teams try to make the double Hades work because there is...
Well, no, it wasn't a double Hades Pyrrha. I mean, each ship had a Hades and used it as their main armor-stripping weapon.
Yeah, again, that's tough. When you have no brawling potential, especially against the riders, especially against Luosi.
Yeah, I know, right?
No.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, one of them was a junker and had a Gatling mortar, but it was always too late.
well,
And,
not only that, it was also getting disabled all the time by the
Mobula.
Artemis.
Yeah,
from
there was a
Mobula.
Mercury double Artemis Mobula to fight that junker. They like just disable the junker, then close distance, and then it's like, okay, well, we can do diminished damage at this distance. You can do no damage at this distance. So
it was a junker and then a Hades flak or Hades Artemis.
Hades Flak Pyrrha.
Hades flak. Okay.
And I mean, let's not. I mean, Riders did pull up some incredible piloting maneuvers to finish that off. I mean, the way that the Lib GTK came under the arch and just hydroed to the perfect position to get in front of the Hades flak, and just it demolished that ship in one clip of Gatling, one clip of mortar, and then get right over to the junker. I mean, it was clinical work there by the Riders. And it's something that we have actually been seeing, it's the kind of attacks that we've been seeing for the whole Roman army with that like perfect engagement, perfect play, and it just got turned right around on them.
Yeah. Looking back in the Riders HRA history, in week 4, Riders versus HRA took that 5-1, but that was Sans Luosi and Hillerton at the same time. So both main pilots were out.
Yeah.
So we were asking a lot of questions after that, wondering, okay, how critical are both Luosi and Hillerton to the Rider team?
I think we found the answer.
When at least Luosi's there, things happen. And Daniel being an excellent level 15 pilot as well, I can only imagine he really showed his stuff today too.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I mean, it was fantastic set of matches, I think, from both sides of the bracket. The Sky Rating Rhinos did a great job today as well. They had a brutal couple of matches against the Zill's Merry Men, who were just aggressive as all hell. I think we had the quickest Dunes game I've ever seen. Yeah, you have a double forward, double Merc Pyra. You have a Lumberfish, and yet there's like 3 kills in a span of 5 minutes. And like to start off the match, it was just like the two teams were just charging right at each other. It ended up being, I think, like a 5-3 or 5-4. The first match was a 5-3. So, that was, even though it was a 2-0 victory for the Rhinos, it was a very hard fought match from both sides. Mm-hmm. And then, Holy Roman Army just kind of took care of business against the Rhinos. And I think that's where the missed Hades shots actually really came into view, because there was so much Hades missing, so much potential damage lost from the Rhinos side. So even though you guys had good Hades fire coming on your end, apparently on ours, the Rhinos weren't doing the greatest job with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Hades was consistently like a really scary prospect, partially because the Glowwater Thralls decided to pull out their Spire like in the first match against the Riders, and it was just like the worst idea ever.
It's a great idea on that map, but they were not able to capitalize on the maneuverability. The Mobula got stuck a couple times, but so did the Spire. I mean, Oracle, we saw that one self-kill essentially on the Spire where the very bottom tip just got caught in a building and was just like boom.
Yeah, that's around the time I really kind of wish that like when a Spire got destroyed, it would just kind of like stick in the ground. I really wish, and like become a part of the terrain.
It's not new terrain. Yeah.
Don't run into it.
We actually had a Spire on our end as well from the Rhinos in the second match versus HRA, which didn't end up working out very well. It just got slammed down into the ground by the Gat Carronade Pyra that it was facing repeatedly.
There you go. Some of these teams, they're some of the best teams out there, and a lot of them are willing to really put their own personal touches on these strategies. Now, a lot of clans love to do their own thing and try to make things happen, but only a few clans, Glowwater Thralls, Riders, Sky Invading Rhinos, they make some of these oddball things really work to their advantage some of the time. It's amazing to see it actually happen.
Yeah, and the Thralls fly Mobulas and Spires all the time on every map. It doesn't matter where they are; they'll pull that out. So
They love them.
Yeah.
They love them.
Yeah.
Now, I'd like to point out one thing. I think that there was one thing that we kind of that I saw consistently. The team that actually managed to get their chem spray going won the brawls. Like, and I'd like to take this moment to highlight the importance of engineers. Like during the Dan, you saw during the I think it was Cake versus Glowwater Thralls.
Game one.
Mhm. Yeah, there was that one junker that just was perpetually getting flamed, and eventually the Pyramidion managed to get a chem spray going on the armor, and from that point on, like, it just held out, and it was fine. And then the other Pyramidion was able to come in and split Cake up like that. And the importance of being able to of having a good engineering crew that can keep the ship in the air for an inordinate amount of time, because that junker survived for a ridiculous amount of time. Like, it was silly.
Second Pyramidion in game 2?
Or well, yeah, you're right. Pyramid. I don't know. I thought it was a
second
junker.
Pyramidion in game
It was a
2.
Pyramidion. That's
Yeah.
right.
Kirk's junker, absolute powerhouse disabled junker, Kara Flamer.
Yeah, the
on
junker
that
was
side.
attacking the Pyrrha.
Yeah.
That's right.
And it, for some reason, they just could not grind them down. No matter what that junker did, whether it was fling the Banshee or get a few merc shots before getting the Flamer going again, they could not kill this thing.
Yeah,
They did a great job
painful.
tanking.
It was so painful to watch.
The interesting thing about the way that Guns of Icarus goes when you're watching it is it's really easy to make say when a pilot does something right or wrong. Okay, you run into a building, that's wrong. Did you manage to get behind another ship? That's right. It's really easy to say when a gunner is doing something right or wrong. Are you hitting with the Hades? Well, that's right. Are you not hitting with the Hades? Well, that's probably wrong. Regardless of what's going on, like, your job is to hit with the gun you're on. It's so difficult to actually point out when an engineer is doing what they must do, what they need to do, and yet they are probably the most important part of the ship, because you're not going to be able to really do anything if your ship is dead.
Yeah.
So it's like they're totally the unsung heroes, and now we kind of do have something to point at in chem spray cycles.
Not just chem spray cycles. I mean, the fact that the Crown Tyrant in game 2 of Cake versus Thralls was able to stay up pretty much indefinitely. Like, throughout that entire engagement, even when it was getting 2v1'd, it held together. They held the ship together.
Hold the line.
Even against a team that brings disable builds, that's not easy to do.
No.
And unfortunately, when engineers do everything right, we don't notice anything because the ship holds together, everything's fine, and they win.
Yep.
We don't see the big sparks, the big boom, or a ship doesn't fall apart, or we don't see an epic ram. Things just go well when engineering's on point.
I think the difference that we see is what really separates the good teams from the great teams is today in the Gold League, when a ship got disabled, it came back quick. I mean, that's something like in the group stages, oftentimes you saw the less experienced teams, they're like the engines would be down for a really long time, and then their ally was just left out to dry as this other ship was like repairing everything except for the engines, which is what they needed. Now, obviously, it's more complex than that. It's not like they're just looking at the wrong thing. There's way more than that. But you saw these teams whenever like the engines got disabled, either the targeting, what the engineers decided to repair was almost always the right decision today. In the group stages, silver bracket, the less experienced teams weren't always picking the right target. But today, you saw it. Always the correct thing was being repaired. The right decisions were being made. engineers were looking around them. They were aware of what was around them. They knew what was going to get hit. They knew how much time they had. They were able to maximize the repair time, and it allowed these ships to do things that we haven't been able to see in the rest of the tournament, even after getting hit horribly.
Yeah, and going back to something you were bringing up there, Oracle, the chem spray cycles, in comparison to the second two games Glowwater Thralls had against Cake, game one, we saw what happens when engineering may not exactly be on point. When those chem spray cycles, despite they knew they were going against a Flamer and Brawl, the chem spray cycles simply weren't there. They weren't available.
You don't always know when you have a good engineer. You are reminded painfully when you don't have, like when something goes wrong engineering.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I felt like we saw so many I don't think I've ever seen ships be completely loaded up with fire as much as they were today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there were so many games where just like every component or like all but one component was on fire, which was crazy. And you saw these ships just melt, literally melt. As they were burning like this, they just couldn't do anything because they didn't have the chem spray cycles going and they didn't bring any extinguishers.
Yeah, and again, when you start to let those fire stacks build up and you start to have cracks in the chem spray cycle, especially going against Cake, the entire system will just break down because as soon as you let them in on that defense, it's so hard to get it back up because Cake, extremely consistent with knowing how their brawl weapons need to function. We saw really good disables, really good hits from the Hades Merc. Not Hades Merc. Artemis Merc.
Artemis. Yeah.
Artemis Merc, yeah. Great on target shooting. I believe that was Fluffy Hetcha and Rotted Beef from Overwatch, filling in over there on Fox's ship. Absolutely. Again, very surprising game one there from that matchup. I think we saw a really good spark from Cake.
Mm-hmm. Ha! I get it. Now these are some amazing matches. Like I've never been so excited watching matches before. I don't think I've ever freaked out as much as I have today. But Abby makes a really good point. So where do we go from here? So the Hephaestus season 1 is finished. We're going to be getting ready for season 2. In the meantime, teams, if you are thinking of getting a competitive team together, if you have a team together and you've never played anything before, get on MLG right now. MLG is looking to do stuff for Guns of Icarus. They're looking to get teams together. And if you want to be a part of that, even if you don't like the arena style that there is, get registered on the MLG site so that when a tournament does come around, you're already registered and you're ready for it.
Well,
we do have.
Sorry, I was just going to say to the point is the more teams that we have signed up, the more people that we have signed up, the more likely it is that MLG will do something, where they will host, they will promote, do anything. It's up to us. The more we use it, the more we're going to get back from it.
Yeah, and it's only going to benefit the community as a whole. We're going to get more people, more activity, more attention for the teams. They're going to be able to grow in a specific and directed, focused way, which is important for any kind of competitive team. And on top of that, even if you aren't interested in MLG, it's good to register because it supports your team.
And you don't want anybody else taking your team name. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I mean, there's basically no negative for it. So, like this is really big for the community. Like, go over there if you want to scrim, you can record, the results of your scrims on there. It's like, do it. Like, this isn't just like me as a caster. This is me personally asking you, go and register on MLG. This is a huge opportunity that we've been given. It's great. I mean, so many games get passed up for MLG. And
outside of that, we do have our fall lineup forming very quickly. We already have the TBB tournament coming up here shortly. That's going to be in about, I believe, 3 weeks from now. 2 weeks from now.
It's going to be 6 weeks long as well, so that's going to take a while.
It's going to take a little bit of time, and it'll run right up against the charity tournament we have coming up in October. So we have those two. We also have Aerodrome starting at in the first week of November, I believe. No specific date has been released on that, but it is happening this November. the folks that run it, the Black Flight Squadron folks, they're getting everything lined up. They've already released a teaser trailer, I do believe, for it. Don't know if that's public yet. So if nothing else, you can ask Gilder if you could see it. But if it is public, certainly look that up. Also, and this is not the first announcement of this, but this is certainly the first major announcement of this. We're looking to put together the first invitational, the R&D invitational for the Guns of Icarus community. So we're excited to go ahead and look at the possibilities for that. We're going to talk about that at the meeting tomorrow we're having with all major organizers for the community. With that being said, please consider looking throughout what we have available to you folks for the fall lineup. If you're a clan just starting out, Timmy B is going to be a really good option for you. You only need to provide a single ship or a single group of individuals or even a single individual for it. It's based ship per ship. It's not based on a full team. So you can throw in a ship and have tons of fun with other people, meet new folks in the community. It's going to be a nice breather before we get into the very heavy mainstay of the October and November months.
I actually might be flying in the Timmy B thing. I'm not sure yet, but that might be happening.
Well, there we go.
I'd like to, but we're going to be casting it, aren't we?
Well, yeah, but I got all the time in the world.
Sad. There we go. Any other thoughts you guys had to close out the Hephaestus season 1?
Thanks a ton. Thanks a ton for some great games. That was a lot of fun to cast. Like those are some sweet games. Look at them notes.
These are all the games that were played in this entire season. Look at all those, and it's not even counting postseason.
Good calling.
Those that's a lot of games. That's quite a few competitive matches.
I personally just want to, give a thanks to everyone who was involved, and that's teams, that's admins, that's refs, that's us. None of this would have been possible. I'm so happy that we had 14 teams sign up for this thing.
Yeah.
That is a ridiculous. That is by far the largest amount of teams we've ever had for anything ever.
Yeah, and that's crazy because it was going to be a 12-week league, turned out to be a 10-week league. Like, that's a lot of teams really making that commitment, which is awesome. Like, I think that is a testament to how awesome this community is.
And everyone continually showed up, no matter if you were first, no matter if you were last in division. People continually showed up, continually fought out. I do hope that many of these teams will be back again, because if they are, this can only get better.
We saw a lot of very good new individuals, as well as some of the older members of the community really showing some new skills and showing where the competitive scene can go. So only good things from here. And we have some new clans showing sparks too. If you guys haven't seen the Sunday Community Skirmish at all yet, teams like the Black Cloaks, I believe they're called.
Black Cloaks, Grim
404.
Grim
404.
Yep.
Yeah, we have some. We have some big names working with some of these folks. I know Grim recently acquired Golden Glade, so that was a major catch for them. Certainly going to be a lot of very interesting developments from some of these new teams moving forward as well. So, oh my God, it's going to be so exciting to see the next what the fall season has available for everyone. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, the Hephaestus Challenge saw a ton of upsets. It saw a ton of new builds. It saw like shattering of the meta. We saw,
and the great part of it was you saw that in the middle of the season. Like, it wasn't like at the start, people, it's like at the start, everybody was kind of like the old style. And then as we wore along, people are figuring things out. So you really saw that people cared. I saw teams practicing pretty much any time I logged in, there was a team practice for somebody going on, usually between two different teams in the league. So, this was serious business. This was definitely serious business.
I think that it shows the enthusiasm and the integrity of the community. Like, it's been so great to be a part of this league. I can't wait to see where this game is going next. Like what the next Hephaestus is going to look like, what the tournaments coming up are going to look like, because it's incredible.
This has been one of the best tournaments that the entire community has put on yet, and it really has been a community effort. There have been so many people involved, including the entire crew that was organizing the Hephaestus Challenge.
Yeah,
Sammy from the Ducks, Redria and Puppy Fur from Overwatch, Alistair McBain from the Gents, and I'm forgetting someone. Who am I forgetting?
And you're forgetting Puppy Fur.
No, I said Puppy Fur.
You say Puppy Fur?
I said Puppy Fur.
Puppy
Isn't
Fur,
there-
Redria, Sammy BT.
Redby, I think Alistair was involved as well, right?
Yeah,
I thought I
Alistair,
said
of course.
Alistair.
Yeah. Maybe we forgot.
Look, I kind of just passed over it. Look, anybody who was ever involved in doing anything for this league during this entire season, fantastic job.
There was a lot of people
None of
involved.
it could have done it without you.
A lot of
And-
people, a lot of teams were very busy putting a lot of effort into this.
Yeah, and to everyone who casted me, me, Oracle, Dan, but also Morty, who's not here, but
Yeah. And Rob. Huge shout out to Rob,
Rob,
our
the
cameraman.
most important person, Rob, the one who
this could have
actually
been
knows
possible
how
then.
things work.
MVP.
MLG MVP.
Shanku helped fill in for a couple of weeks. Even Kirk, who casted on one of the weeks. So, everyone who was in the production casting side couldn't have done it without you.
Yep.
There we go.
And of course, everyone who was watching, thank you, everyone. I know a lot of people who were watching were part of the teams. I know we had people who weren't part of the teams that were watching as well. It's great to have all of you. You guys
I know
are
some
watching.
people
We do it for you
who-
guys.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of people who have come in who have never seen the game before, actually, from various streams. And now actually just like watching, even though if they don't play. I've had a few people comment in my other streams. They're like, hey, that Guns of Icarus thing was really cool. I don't play it, but it was really fun to watch. So,
Oh yeah, it is.
So
It is
any
a
of
ton
you
fun.
who are like that, you should also play. Just saying, you should probably get it and play.
It's even more
But if
fun to
nothing else,
play.
watch. Yeah.
It's fun to watch. It's more fun to play. And we're going to have more spectator stuff coming. And it's going to look even nicer. We're going to get to see the engineers in action a lot easier. We're going to get to see gunners and exactly how they're shooting. And we're going to get to see a much more personal level when the new spectator stuff comes out, which I am absolutely pumped for.
Oh, don't forget, I almost forgot this one. Scrimscraw from Global Honor Thralls has also been working very hard to organize a global Goyo Day that's going to be happening coming up here in a few weeks. I forget the exact date. I know it got
I think
pushed
we're putting on the
back.
15th, I believe.
The 15th.
Should be a Friday. Yeah,
Hopefully
so
it's Friday.
it's like 2 weeks. It was supposed to be on the 1st, but it got pushed back a little bit so we can get a little bit better organization around it. So in a couple of weeks, it should come up. It'll be basically an all-day stream, and I think it's going to be on the main Guns of Icarus stream.
Yep.
So the same stream that
I'm gonna be doing
you can same stream that the Fireside Chat is on.
Yep, it's going to be a ton of fun. I know we're going to be simulcasting the Iron Fork on that, and then after that, I'm actually going to have my own segment. We're calling Munitions Delivery and You. Because it's the one thing I really do well in guns, and it's the only thing I can explain. If you ask me to explain how to engineer, I'm going to be like,
Hit thing with hammer.
You have a thing in your hand and you click it.
yeah, I don't know how to do that. So that'll be fun.
I
Oracle,
believe that's
have
what an
you-
engine looks like.
Don't you have a segment on that one too, Oracle?
Yep, I'm just going to be flying.
You're just going to be flying. You're not even theming it.
I think I'm just gonna fly because we have all this other stuff. It's just like, oh yeah, this is Guns of Icarus related. No, this is about the game. This is about the game. I'm just gonna be like, all right, let's play it.
Personally, because I'm supposed to be doing a part of it as well. I personally kind of want to throw together like a King of the Hill style, where you have two teams face off, or like a pool of teams, and you just keep on playing. And if you win, you keep playing, and you just rotate around like that. We'll see if that happens. That's something that I've wanted to do for a long time. I don't know if the 2-hour time window that I got given would be enough to really make that happen. So it might need to be longer, or I might need to think of something else. But that's at least my thought for right now. So whatever comes up, guys, you should watch that. It'll be in a couple of weeks over at the Guns of Icarus stream.
Two
That's all we got.
hours.
I'm pretty sure it's about all we got.
Yeah, 2 hours. You could fit about 2 King of the Hill games into that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wouldn't be like on Labyrinth. It would be whatever, it'd be still 2v2.
It wouldn't be Crazy King.
Right.
You might get 3 in then.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's been
That's
forever
why-
since we've
That's
cast
why
a
we
Labyrinth
need a longer
match.
time.
Yeah,
That's
it has.
true. It's been a long time.
You
Alrighty,
remember-
folks. That's our long-winded and very over-the-top post-season show for the Hephaestus Challenge. Thank you to everyone involved once again. There were so many people that contributed, including art assets. We got music from Muse themselves to put on during these. We had contributions of promos and different bits of information people wanted to get out during it too. So thank you to those people. Again, thank you to the organizers, the referees, the players, the teams. Of course, we couldn't have a tournament without teams. That'd be a little difficult. And everyone else who took time to enjoy. And again, we cannot forget the actual engineer on board, Robert, who actually did work for this.
Yep.
No, thank Rob here.
Good work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For making things look fantastic.
And there's going to be more on-screen graphics coming up.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, like Rob, you guys on the stream haven't heard all the stuff that Rob has been touting, but he's got a lot of stuff in the pipe works that
It'll be
I'm really excited about, and Dan's really excited about.
It'll be nice. It'll be fantastic.
Personally, I just want to give a thanks to the guy who did my graphic stuff as well, and it's a couple of just overlay stuff. But none of you know him, but I would just like to thank him as well for supplying me with those.
Would it be you?
No.
No? Oh, I thought you were making a joke.
No.
Oops.
Oh, that'd be great. Alistar is saying we throw one caster on each ship and see how they fail. We should we should get like Morty in here and have like all four of us on one ship, like captaining a ship. Fly under a caster. We don't play. We may have used to play.
Can we call the ship the Caster Blaster?
Okay, no, that's it. We're done. We're done. We're done.
You should do that sometime. That'll be mine. Dan, you recruited in on this.
No. Okay, so we're done with the postseason show. Thank you everyone for joining us. For Rob, I have been Dan.
For Dan, I have been Rob.
That's been Oracle. That's been Imagine. Check out their channels, Fourth Oracle and Imagine 42. They did a fantastic job contributing to this season as well. We're going to have a ton of great shows for you here in the future. So, for everyone that was involved, I have been Dan. That has been the Hephaestus Challenge Season 1. That's all, folks.